Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into Kadir Kubas's book on book cover design.
Yeah, specifically looking at his interpretations of, well, Matisse and Picasso.
Right. And our goal, our sort of mission for this dive, is to understand how these covers are more than just, eye candy.
Exactly.
Uh,
How they actually shape our perception of the book, maybe even before we read it.
hmm.
Kubas sees them as these entrance gates.
So it's not just how does it look?
No, it's deeper. It's what is it saying?
Hmm.
That's the core question he seems to pose.
Okay. Let's start with the Matisse in Istanbul series then. The book describes Kubas blending Matisse's collage style
The cutouts?
with the feel of Istanbul. It's presented as this sort of cultural convergence.
And it really comes through. He uses these abstract forms, quite organic shapes, often against a stark black background.
Which really makes you think of Matisse, right?
Definitely. But then there are these subtle hints of Istanbul's architecture woven in. It's like a visual hybrid.
A kind of cultural collage itself.
Precisely. And the book argues these covers aren't just decoration. They set the scene, the emotional tone.
I noticed the color palette, those pastels, like the blues and salmons against the black. It's pretty striking.
It creates a real harmony, doesn't it?
Mm.
And it helps unify the whole series visually.
And the typography.
Oh, very clean, minimal, modern. It lets the visuals do the talking, really. Allows them to breathe.
The book mentions abstract elements, silhouettes, hands, birds.
Yeah, plant-like forms, too. They evoke things like nature, humanity, memory. It's trying to translate an emotion, that sort of poetic vibe of the city, into graphic terms.
So the covers become more than just covers.
They become artistic objects in their own right, absolutely.
Okay, let's pivot to the Pablo Picasso cover. Now, this sounds like a totally different approach.
It is, much more conceptual. It's all about Picasso's identity, his methods, expressed through typographic play.
Typographic play, how does that work?
Well, the book talks about exploring the graphic counterparts of artistic identities. So the cover uses typography itself to mirror Picasso's way of working.
Like the fragmentation.
Exactly. You see the letters arranged vertically, but they kind of resolve horizontally. It's meant to suggest his different artistic periods, distinct yet part of a whole.
Ah, I see. And there's that black and white portrait, too.
Right, which gives it a classical grounding. But then you have these pops of colored letters, like a modern intervention.
And those colors aren't random.
Apparently not. Each colored letter is like a building block, referencing different phases or aspects of Picasso's career. It invites you to, decode it a bit.
So it's not just passive reading, it's active participation.
That's the idea. It's a construct, even if the typography pushes legibility limits sometimes.
Which it sounds like it might.
It's channeling that innovative, maybe even challenging spirit of Picasso directly into the graphic design. It constructs a whole system representing him.
So, looking at both, Matisse and Picasso, what's the bigger picture Kubas is painting about graphic design?
I think the main point emphasized is that graphic design is a way of thinking, not just, making things look nice.
A mode of thought production, as the book puts it?
Yes. These covers are like silent spokespeople for the content, but also conceptual surfaces reflecting the artists themselves. They generate meaning.
So for Matisse, it's that sort of aesthetic lightness, the abstract dialogue with Istanbul's history.
Yeah, almost poetic. Whereas with Picasso, it's more intellectual, maybe. That fragmented typography makes you want to reconstruct the whole.
It seems like both approaches really highlight how form and content are intertwined in his work.
Completely inseparable. The book really documents that relationship: graphic design, art, history, the viewer. It's all layered.
The covers grab your visual memory, and then the book gives you the conceptual side.
Making a case for graphic design is a real narrative medium for today.
Okay, so to wrap up our deep dive, Kubas's approach really pushes beyond just visual appeal.
Definitely. It's about using cover design to engage with art history, to create meaning in a very thoughtful way.
And the key takeaway for you listening is probably just how much a well-designed cover can do. It's that first point of contact.
It really shapes your expectations, your whole initial understanding of what's inside.
So here's something to think about. The next time you pick up a book, pause for a second.
Yeah, look at that cover. What's it actually telling you beyond the title? How is its design maybe nudging your perception before you even read page one?